Hey, what's going on, guys? How you been? Happy Monday. It's KLA, Cloud the Wanderer, your boy, back here again. And I have a special guest. Her name is Dannett Monoyios.
Monoyios.
Monoyios. Oh. Are you Italian or Spanish?
Greek. It's actually Greek.
Oh, I never would have thought about that. Uh, you was born here or your folks are?
No, it's my married name. My maiden name is DeMarco, so there's a nice mix of Greek and Italian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you.
Sure.
And I'm gonna start with the basics. How you got into bodybuilding?
So I have been a gym goer for a very long time, since my early 20s. And I used to work in a gym, and I actually met my husband at a gym. He was a personal trainer and always wanted to compete. I worked along with people. I worked with a trainer who coached another girl we worked with who competed back then and actually still competes now. I always wanted to do it, but never had the guts to do it and didn't think that I would ever have the discipline to do it. So I never did. So my son, who is 19, did his first competition last November. And as he was in prep and preparing for his competition, I decided that it was time for me to start thinking about doing my own competition. So that was when it got serious. I had always been a gym goer and never my whole life basically. But finally at that point decided, you know what? I'm turning 50 and this is going to be my ode to 50, if you want to call it that. And so he helped me with my prep. And then I had to get a posing coach who also helped me with my prep. And in June was when I did my first competition. And now I love it and I'm going to keep going.
Wow. So how old is your son?
19.
19? Oh, okay, okay. Wow. Yeah, because I seen your Instagram. If I'm on my phone, but it'll take some time to like switch
Sure.
to the screen and stuff. But yeah, I seen your son competing. He was doing like the men's classic, right?
Yeah, his first competition was last November, and then he just competed again at the end of June. So we had a good time period where we were both in prep at the same time, which was not a lot of fun around here.
Yeah,
But
I could imagine. I
yeah,
could.
it was tough. And, tough because it was my first time.
Right.
And he had a completely different prep his second time than he did his first time. And he struggled. It was very hard for him. But he made it through and he looked great. And now he's setting his eyes on not competing for 2 more years. He wants to do a lot more building and working on himself before he competes again.
Hold on for a second. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to take that. But
Okay.
yeah, um, did your son give you like some pointers on like how
Oh,
to prep?
absolutely. He actually, so in the meantime, he's become a personal trainer himself. So it was when I decided to compete, I kind of said, okay, I'll be your guinea pig. You can use me as your first client, first competing client. Um, so he had, together we formulated my workouts, but he took over, he controlled my whole diet. Um, had me, he got me down to a point where I had lost about, I want to say about 13 pounds. And then I kind of hit a plateau. So at that point, I was hiring a posing coach anyway because I didn't know the first thing about that. Um, in which he kind of, we go to different gyms. He found someone at his gym who's a pro, bodybuilding pro, who I connected with her, and she became my posing coach. And then, kind of at that point, she took my prep over because, it was his first time. So she tweaked it a little bit. I had hit that plateau. So she kind of got me out of that. And then she took it over about halfway through. My
Right.
workouts stayed the same. He kept my workouts, that plan going. But she dealt with my food and my posing. And now I'm going to compete again in November, and she is in complete control of my prep now. So,
What made you want to do what made you want to do figure by curiosity?
well, I feel like my genetic makeup and my stature is more suited for figure. Um, I'm only 5 feet tall, and I put on muscle pretty quickly, and I have a wider back and wider shoulders and kind of a smaller waist. So it just kind of made sense to go with
Right.
figure. Um, Bikini, I feel like I'm a little too muscular for bikini, and definitely don't feel like I'm tall enough, at least to pull that off. And I don't feel like I'm graceful as far as posing, bikini posing, but figure posing, I feel like is I'm okay
It's,
to do. Yeah, and not
yeah.
look
I,
foolish.
yeah, I can show some pictures of you, it's your first
Yeah,
competition.
yeah, and
What's the name of
I
this? Mr. The NPC New
this was the NPC
Jersey.
South Jersey Championships. Yeah,
Oh, okay. How many
and
competitors?
so in my age group, 50 plus, there were none, just me, which was kind of disappointing. But for my first show, I was okay with it. I mean, I wish there had been somebody to compete against, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. I am learning that at my age, the amount of people competing gets smaller and smaller. So my coach seems to think that the next competition I'm going to do is it's a pretty big show. So she thinks that I'll probably have some other people in my age group. So I'm hoping that that's the case.
yeah.
Otherwise, I just did 50 plus, and I did true novice, and came in second in true novice. And
Were you
I look,
nervous in your first competition?
oh God, yeah, I was so nervous. And I look at those pictures, and I'm like, I can see all the posing mistakes that I made, and it's like kind of cringe, like ugh. But
What I mean, like, could you point it out to me? Like,
well,
what,
so yes, in
what,
this particular picture right here, um, the first picture you had of the side pose when my head was turned, that's
right,
the proper way for a side. That's the right way to do a
right,
side pose with your head facing the other way. And I actually, this picture specifically was after they announced the winners, which of course was me because I was the only one, but they asked me to do my favorite pose. And this was actually not my favorite pose, but I did it because I had messed it up in the actual judging part. So
right.
purposely chose that pose and did it the right way to show the judges that I realized that I messed up and I did it the right way this time. So
Mm,
that's the correct way. And
no,
the other photo with my face facing forward,
right.
keep the
Yeah,
next
you
one.
do probably look a little nervous,
Oh,
a
I
little bit stiff, but
very stiff. Yes, yes, all the things. So, but
yeah,
that's okay. It was
yeah,
all a learning experience, and I look at it now and I'm like, okay, I know what to work on. And I
yeah,
already feel, just in a few months that I've improved tremendously on my posing. And, just spent the last, since then, that was the beginning of June, uh, just working on building more muscle and getting the poses down properly. See, that way, my head should have been facing the other way.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean, I wouldn't, I couldn't tell the difference. I was like, she don't look too bad,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a judge or a bodybuilder like that, It just, I just talk with bodybuilders,
Hmm.
and so I'm still learning too. Like you're learning
Yeah.
with
Yeah. It was.
bodybuilding.
It was a great learning experience, and now I know what to expect for the next one, so I'll be a little more prepared and feel a little better about it, especially the posing, because that's, everyone kept telling me, who's competed, like, posing is, you have to practice that every single day, like that's one of the hardest things about it, and it truly is.
Yeah,
And I mean, I listened to people, but I didn't realize. And then when I think about the fact that I didn't even have to, because I was the only one in my category, I didn't even have to really stand up there and, I didn't have to switch places with anyone. I didn't have to hold poses for a long time. And like that could all happen in the future. So, there's a lot to posing that I've learned and I'm working on. So,
yeah. I've heard like you can have a nice physique, but if your posing is not good, it's like
yep.
what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like the girl, I came in second for True Novice, and the girl who came in first, um, she definitely had more muscle, she was a little more conditioned than me. I mean, she deserved to win True Novice, not only for her physique, but also because her posing was way better than mine. So, I mean, she did it properly. She didn't screw it up like I did.
Right. Was that like with the judges? Did they point out like that, or you just did it, or you?
No, I actually, after the fact, when I was finished having to go onto the stage, um, I was we were in between prejudging and finals. So we went to get something to eat, and I was looking at the pictures, and when I saw the picture, I didn't even realize I did it on the stage or
Mm,
even afterward. When I was looking at pictures, I saw the pictures of my head turned the wrong way, and I was like, "Oh, I posed wrong. Posed completely wrong." And I saw it then, and I was like, I can't believe I did that. And I was so mad at myself. But, at the same time, was like, okay, this is your first time. Could have been worse, I mean, it's all right. So that was why during the finals, when they said, give us your favorite pose, I did a side pose the right way so that I could show the judges that I could do it the right way and that I realized that I had screwed up. So,
like when you was on stage, like you had any thoughts, what was you thinking? Like did you felt that you had to be in front of these people doing all these poses and stuff, and then like you have like those little demons telling you, oh, what are you doing here and stuff, and you
Oh,
know,
I had all those things. I mean, even the months leading up to the competition day,
yeah,
like I kept saying to myself, like, I have no business doing this. Like, who do I think I am, And because, I mean, most females, I'm sure will agree, you know, we don't see the same thing that other people see.
yeah.
So, I kept getting reassurance from, my son and my coach and everyone that you absolutely, you've been working hard and you should be doing this. Like, what else, like for as hard as you work, you might as well. And so when, it came time to step on the stage, I was a nervous wreck, and my son, he was backstage with me, coaching me and dealing with, my rice cakes and shoving things for me to go hit the stage. And I was like, when they were like, "Okay, you're up," I was just like, "Okay, I'm doing this. There's no turning back now. Put the smile on and let's go." So, I just kind of said, "All right, just pretend like you are, you know, a hot chick walking into a bar." And so I turned it on and acted like, here I am. Okay. Cause it was just the way I was going to get through it. And then when I was finished and I came off, I said to my son, I'm like, "Oh my God, I actually just did that. I can't believe I just did that." And I texted my coach and I was like, "I just did that." And she was like, she texted me back. She's like, "Yes, you did." She's like, "Send me pics, send me video." So, and then she FaceTimed me when we were in a break and she was like, "I knew you could do it." And I was like, "I knew I could too. It was just, the getting to that point." Um, so now the nerves are out. I mean, they'll always be there a little bit, but now I know what to expect. I won't mess up my posing again, and I'll be a little more relaxed next time. I think maybe we'll see.
What 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 gives you like the motivation? Like, what motivated you to like to do it? If I could ask you that.
Um, my son had a lot to do with it, really. That and I had a incident happen that was kind of ironic. I'm not a super religious or spiritual person, but I do believe in higher power and that everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
when I first told my husband that I was thinking about competing, the first thing he said to me was, "Oh, you need to find Frank." And Frank was the trainer that we worked with that trained our other friend who still competes. And I said to him, I'm like, "Oh, I know, I would love to find Frank," but we hadn't seen him in like 20 something years. And I said, "The last thing I heard about Frank, he did have a training studio." I said, "That was like 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he's still training." And can you hold on for 1 second?
No problem. No problem.
I'm in the middle of something. Yes. Sorry.
Is that him? Is that his son?
That's my husband who knows that I'm
Oh,
doing. I don't know why he's talking to me right now. So rude.
uh,
Anyway, he was like, "You need to find Frank." So I said, "I don't know where Frank is." So literally 2 days later, I'm at my gym and I'm just, doing my thing, going about my business. And I see this guy who resembles Frank. And I
uh,
was like, "Is that Frank?" I was like, "No, it can't be. That would be too weird, right?" So I walk over and I'm looking, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "Dannett?" And I was like, "Frank?" And he was like, "Oh my God." And there he was in front of me, literally the day after we spoke of him and like needing to find him. And so at that moment, I was like, okay, The universe just put him into my life. This is my sign that I need to do this. So I told him that. I said, "You're not going to believe this. We are just talking about you last night. I want to compete. Lou said I needed to find you." And he was like, "Oh my God, you definitely should compete. You're already halfway there. You've already got the muscle. You just need to shred some. Like, I'd love to help you. I'd love to coach you." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is like kind of crazy that this is happening." So that was like last summer. And so I said, "All right, well, here's my plan. I think, I'm working hard. I'm like trying to bulk a little bit right now. I have a vacation in November. And then when I come back from the vacation, I'm going to like really go like, get serious and, start prepping and getting ready for a competition in the spring." So he was like, "That's perfect. That's plenty of time." He's like, "All right, after that vacation, that's when we'll like sit down and, get your plan together and really get you in a prep." And I was like, "All right, cool." So, I would see him, we exchanged phone numbers. I would see him at the gym. We'd go in passing. I go on this vacation. I come back and I'm like, "All right, I'm going to give Frank a text and just catch up with him." And we like literally the next day, I find out that Frank passed away.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God, what? No, like I just saw him. That's crazy."
Yeah.
And so it was another mutual friend of all of ours that we all worked together at this gym years and years ago. So I reached out to him and I was like, I said, "I just saw Frank last week. Like, what do you mean? This, he's supposed to coach me." Like, so, him and I got to talking and I was like, "Well, if I had any reservation before, I have none now. Like, I am supposed to do this. The universe put me and him together again for a reason, and that was my sign. So I'm doing this." And so that was kind of like, at that point it was on. There was no turning back. And
Mhm.
now I love it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. How
Yeah.
far do you see yourself like competing? Probably like the next 5 years or 10?
Um until it until I grow bored of it, which who knows? We'll see. It started out, this just started. I mean, I've always been into fitness and health, and I'm a nurse. That's my job. I do
Yeah,
by day. Um, I've always been into physical fitness and taking care of yourself. Um, so that will never end. For me, I will never stop taking care of myself. Um, the whole competing thing at first was kind of like a bucket list check. And okay, I'm turning 50, so let me show 50-year-olds out there to that they need to stop picking up those 3-pound weights because they're not going to get anywhere with that. And let's pick up some heavier weights. You're not going to look like a bodybuilder. You can't possibly look that way.
yeah.
um and so then I did the first competition. Now I have my eye on a pro card.
Mm,
So
yeah,
that's, it's kind of evolved.
yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot. It took like people like 20 years or
Hmm.
longer, 30 years to even get a pro card. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that.
I think that this competition that I did was NPC. Then my next one's going to be an NPC competition. I don't know that I will ever stand a chance in an NPC competition. Um,
Okay.
but I think next year, so I'm going to compete again in November, but then I won't compete again until next year. And I think next year I'm going to switch over to OCB. And I
Yeah.
feel like I probably will have, it'll be a little more of a level playing field for me.
Yeah, because I know the figure girls, they bigger.
Yeah.
They're just as big as
So
the women in physique.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just watched. My coach just competed in the Phoenix Rising in Arizona this past weekend, and
Right.
like I said, she's bodybuilding, so she's a completely different level. But I watched those figure women, and even the masters, the 50 plus, like I'll never.
Yeah.
I would have had to have started doing this years ago to get to the point that they're at. So I think that I'm going to transition next year too and do OCB and just hope that people show up in my age bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a guest all the way, George Page, evening, folks. And he says, husband as bad as the kids. Yeah, yeah. I seen the Rising Phoenix, and yeah, I seen the Masters, the bikini, the wellness and stuff.
Mhm.
Some of it I didn't see everything, but
Yeah.
like I would kind of um go back because it's already recorded. So I'll look at stuff that I missed. Yeah, I was looking at some of the bikini, like the master bikinis and the wellness, and I didn't look too much of the figure, and I seen a little bit of the bodybuilding.
Mhm.
You know, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
like I was gonna ask you like what was like your favorite part of the show?
Well, I was paying attention to it mostly to watch my coach and, cheer
Oh,
her.
okay,
She's a former Olympian and she's trying to get back. So, I was mostly paying attention to the women bodybuilding portion of it, just to see how she was doing. But, of course, you get into seeing all of it, and being a figure competitor, my focus was paying attention to the figure girls, and just seeing some of their physiques and mind blown because I know how hard it is and how much work goes into it. And, I mean, I don't, they're amazing. Their physiques are just amazing. And, uh, that's my favorite part, but that's because it's my category. But, um, I appreciate all of it. I appreciate every category, the men as well, and I have a new appreciation for it now because I know how hard it is. you know I know how hard it is to even step on a stage, like, and the discipline that it takes. And it is, I mean, I know for a lot of the profession, the pros and the national competitors, it is their job. I mean, for me, I have a full-time job, and this is like another full-time job. When you're prepping for a competition, I'm in the gym 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, and it's a lot. It's, definitely appreciate anyone who is in this sport.
right.
And the
Well, um, I was gonna show you the OCB like the figure.
mhm.
Yeah, I went to the show actually. Not too long ago. I'm in Brooklyn, so they had a
Okay.
show in Brooklyn and stuff. Yeah. So this is what it's like 3 people, competing.
Yeah.
It sounds similar to what you was telling me a little bit because it's not. It's small where I went because it was like in an auditorium and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. My one of the trainers at my gym just competed on Saturday in an
Right.
OCB competition. Um, it was like Battle of the Belt or something like that. It was
Right.
here in New Jersey. And there she did end up having, she's 67 and competing. So I'll start there because I have the utmost respect for her. Um,
What's your coach? I'm sorry. What's your coach name?
Sheena Oleg.
Oh, Sheena Oleg. Okay. Yeah, yeah. You know, my friend all the way, George Page, he knows her. Yeah, I know Sheena. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know her, but you know, yeah, Sheena Oleg. Yeah.
yeah, she's great. She's that's my girl. I love her.
Yeah. How you met up with her? Like,
So ironically, we're from the same area, and
oh,
I used to know of her from there used to be a little gym around the corner from where I live. It was just like a small, no frills local gym, and I used to
mhm.
see her there, and she used to coach a girl that I worked with. Um, so I knew of her. And then
Oh,
my son, so now she works out at the same gym that my son works out. And when I said, you got to find me a coach, and he said, here's who I got you. And I was like, oh my God, like I knew Sheena, I knew of her from like 10 years ago. So I messaged her, and we ended up meeting up, um, and that's how I ended up connected with Sheena.
yeah. How you think Sheena did it at the Rising Phoenix, in your
She,
opinion?
I saw she came in eighth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She was up against what's her name? Angela Yao and
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Those,
Andrea and
I
yeah,
mean,
the usual
I,
suspects.
I stand next to Sheena, and I feel like I look like a little tiny, this little skinny thing.
Mm.
And I was looking at those women, and I was like, oh my God, I can only imagine how tiny I would look next to them.
When
It's
did you? When did you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I thought you was finished. You had something else to say?
No, go ahead.
When I was going to ask you, when did you notice? When did you first notice you gained some muscle?
Um, which, like, at this point or before?
When you, well, I would say like I would say like when you training for the show.
Um, so I have always been like a muscular, I've always had the muscle. I
Oh,
just
okay.
needed to shred the fat to see it.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I kept working on it and kept building. Um, but I've always been a pretty muscular I've always been pretty muscular. It was
Oh,
just not always as evident, and it was never really as evident as it is till now,
okay.
because I lost about 20 pounds of fat
Mm,
for the competition. And at this point, I've only really gained a couple pounds back.
right.
So I actually just started my prep yesterday for my show in November. And I feel like in 2 months I feel like my back and my shoulders I definitely feel like I see an improvement in 2 months in my back and my shoulders. But she also has me doing back and shoulders twice a week. So I would hope that there would be some difference in that.
Yeah. He says, all the way George Page. I interviewed Sheena and met her at the Savannah 2 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
he also interviews bodybuilders. She has an amazing physique.
She does.
Yeah.
She has an amazing spirit. She's
Mm.
like, she's so cool, and we get along great, and I love her vibe, and she's just a cool chick.
Is she your favorite bodybuilder? You,
I mean, I'm gonna have to say yeah, because I never really had a favorite until now.
oh, you know that the thing was popping in my head to be like to ask you Like, did you ever watch bodybuilding like way before, like in the 80s or 90s or anything like that?
No, I did briefly, I would say probably in the 90s,
Mm,
maybe mid 90s. Um,
okay.
my roommate and best friend, she was my roommate at the time, she dated a bodybuilder who competed. And that was kind of my actual first intro to like the bodybuilding world. And
Okay.
um I mean, it was, he was very into it, and I knew of, like Olympias and, certain bodybuilders because I was kind of fascinated by him. And also, having had the desire to compete myself, like, I'm going back to like the Ronnie Coleman days. That was that
Oh,
era of bodybuilding. Um that I paid attention to. And then, I kind of lost sight of it. And even now, I tend to, I follow, like on Instagram, I follow a lot of pros and Olympians, and, and
yeah.
those type
Me
of
and
women. I
oh,
also like to follow the me's too, like the just average Joes who just love to do
yeah,
it and want to stay
right,
fit, and, show other 50-year-old women that, put on the muscle. It's gonna, you know, help you when you're 80.
right. Yeah, I noticed that it's very helpful, especially for like somebody that, you know, that don't lift weights and, their muscles it goes
Yeah.
against them when you don't work on them and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
had a question. Oh,
Go
not
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. Oh, now to your Instagram page, you say 50's nuts. That's the name. What made you get what made you have that name? Like, cause I almost was about to call you that. I had to like let me ask her name.
Yeah. Um, so it's a funny story.
Yeah,
D Nuts is like my alter ego. That it was a nickname that was given to me in high school by this kid I worked with. Like, he just
right.
started, because I was always D. Like, everyone always just called me D instead of Danette. So
Oh,
I worked with this kid. He was like a couple years younger than me, and he started calling me D's nuts, and it just kind of always stuck. And then everyone, like, at that job in my teenage years, was calling me that. So it's kind of like, I call it like my alter ego. And
yeah,
like my other, like my non-fitness Instagram page is just
yeah,
D's nuts. And
yeah.
yeah, and people always ask me about it and they get a kick out of it. But it's even though I'm a 50-year-old woman, there is a 12-year-old boy trapped inside of me as far as
Mm.
sense of humor goes. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
yeah.
it's not bad, doing this like the part you
I'm
working on your
always up.
craft.
I'm always up for a good laugh. I like to have a good time and laugh, and I can laugh at myself, and
Of course, of course. I mean, we all, you can't take things seriously, but it was cute when I seen it. I was like, 50's nuts. Like,
yeah.
wow, that's interesting.
Well, I was gonna make it D's nuts fit, and
Yeah,
then a friend of mine was actually like, "No, do it the other way around," and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect."
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Is this your favorite workout routine? The legs?
N- no, not at
Oh,
all. And so I took my son today.
yeah,
I've been really struggling with my quad workouts lately, and
right.
I don't know if I feel like I might just have been being a little bit lazy lately.
Right.
Um, but I always gauge my quad workouts on how it like to get in my gym. You got to walk upstairs to get to the actual gym floor. And so I always tell myself, like, if I can walk down those steps with no problem, that was not a good workout. I
Mm.
should struggle a little bit. And I haven't been struggling. So I had my son come with me to the gym today just to kind of, watch my form and make sure I'm not doing things wrong. And he pushed me. He pushed me a lot where, I probably wouldn't have pushed myself. So um,
Yeah.
it was very helpful, and I'm already feeling the effects of that workout today. So tomorrow I'm probably going to be cursing him out, but it's okay.
Sheena got gets cuckoo for donuts. Yeah, I
Yes,
heard Sheena loves donuts.
Sheena
I
loves.
heard.
Yep, Dannett
Do,
loves pizza.
what like how do you like cut away from foods that like dieting? Like how do you cut away from foods and stuff?
Well, I try to avoid being in situations where temptation is, but that's
Can
not
I'm
always.
sorry. Do you have a light?
Yeah, yeah. Hold on a second. It's getting dark in here. Hold on one sec.
No problem.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
yeah.
Um, so I try to avoid situations where temptation is, but that's not always possible, especially at work because it's always someone's birthday or there's always some birthday cake or somebody baking brownies or whatever. Um, and it's a mind over matter thing. And once
Mm,
I'm like right now it's hard because I'm just like day two into it. So like and I'm like so today like I'm hungry and it's hard today, but like
mm,
no, I like once I'm into it for a couple of weeks, then I'll be like, all right, I'm good. I don't even want it, and I'll be all right. But you know, it's that initial, the first like few weeks for me are the toughest.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you really in a hard discipline.
It's so hard.
You ever
So
thought? Now I was gonna ask you, like, you ever thought about being a vegan or vegetarian or something like that?
nope.
That- oh, okay.
No, no, I I like dairy. I love ice cream.
Right.
I like steak. I like meat. It's never it's never occurred to
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have any like allergies or issues like that where like I have to be that.
Mm. Like, what like body part that you probably have to improve? I know you said your back, you have like a good back. Your back is good.
I feel like it's coming along.
Oh,
If I had to pick one body part that needs the most improvement, it would definitely be my glutes. My glutes
okay.
need and I have two glute days in my workout. Um, and I hit them as often as I can in any way that I can.
Mm. Yeah, this is your son when he in a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
that's
his
cool.
this the recent competition.
Let me see.
It,
My
it looks
so proud of him.
it
He
looks
showed
like that.
up today.
And
But what got your son into bodybuilding? Do you know?
yeah, I do know actually, and I like to say that I had a little bit of something to do with it. I like to
Okay.
take a little bit of credit for it.
All right.
Um, so he's always been an athlete. He played baseball his whole life, up
Yeah.
until senior year of high school was he didn't play. And but because he didn't play, he got involved with the high school football coach.
Yeah.
And he didn't play football, but he worked out with the football team. And so that's when he started really like pushing weight and seeing result. So he asked me for a gym membership. I said, okay. So he was going to Planet Fitness. We have one like right up the street. And and he was doing his thing there for a while, and then he was like, you know, how can I come with you? I want to come to your gym. Like Planet Fitness doesn't have what I need. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll add you to my membership. I said, but it's not cheap, so if you don't go, I'm I'm canceling it. So he was like, no, no, I'll go. So he did. He was very good at going, and he started really getting into weightlifting and a lot of calisthenics and just kind of like strengthening and yoga type moves. And he started really shredding and putting on a lot of muscle.
Right.
And I said to him, have you ever thought about like competing in a bodybuilding competition? And he was like, well, yeah, actually I have, but I didn't think you would let me. And I was like, why wouldn't I let you? He's like, oh, because the diet's kind of crazy. And I thought you would like, not be happy about that. And I said, no. I said, the diet's only crazy when you're prepping for a competition. It's like a temporary thing. I said it's overall not unhealthy. It's not like I said it's not like you're wrestling and like trying to lose 5 pounds in a day. Like I said I wouldn't have a problem with that. And so at that point, I think was when he decided like, okay, I'm going to do this. And at which point he ended up leaving my gym, and he joined the gym that he currently goes to, which is where he met Sheena. It's Attilis in Belmar. It's a very it's a big bodybuilding gym. um and that's still where he goes now. So he's so now right now he's working on his thing. He's doesn't plan on competing again for 2 years. He wants to do like a 2-year bulk before he gets on
We-
stage again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he was doing the OCB.
Yeah. And that the kid who won that competition um is actually from New York. I'm not sure
Mm.
where in New York City somewhere. And they've become friendly, and he's actually going up to work out with him next week.
Uh, have you been to like the New York Pro? You or
N-
him?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
oh, yeah. I was there like not too long ago. It's in New Jersey. You probably know, but what's his, yeah, like what's his name again? I don't know if you told me his name.
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Oh,
He's
okay. Shout out to Nick.
he's Monoyios Fit on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
tagged him in something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what is your thoughts on like like just like purchasing stuff like the outfits and did you go to like a hotel or
Yeah,
in cross competition? Was it expensive for you?
very. I had no idea how expensive it was going to be.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, you have to pay a coach. You have to have, all your supplements and protein powders and gym membership, and then
right,
your actual uh, membership fee to the organization, and then your fees to do the competition. And there's it costs for each category or each division that you want to compete in. That's all separate
Right.
fees. Then you have to stay there overnight because you have to get tanned the night before and the next day. And that costs money. And then you have for the females, of course, the guys, they get off easy. All they need is a suit. That's it.
Right.
We need jewelry, makeup, hair done, uh, fancy blinged out bikini, fancy shoes. Like, it all adds up. I had no idea, and I had no idea how expensive a competition bikini
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I know it's something like what, like $500 or something
They
like
can
that.
they range anywhere from 500 to 1500, depending on
Right.
what you want.
And the funny part is the men, they're mostly the they're like the people go crazy for the men than for the women.
Right, right. And the women are spending all this money. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
but
If
I I actually found a an Etsy store
mm,
that's in the Ukraine that makes competition bikinis.
right,
So, and my bikini was not I paid $200 for it, and it's beautiful, and it's the craftsmanship and the quality is
right,
so amazing. And even the girls who did my tan commented on how nice my bikini was and how like durable it was. And I said, yeah, well, funny thing, I spent probably a quarter on this than what everyone else here has spent.
yeah,
So, I guess I got lucky because I was a little bit nervous to order it like online like that, but fortunately it worked out well.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, all I can say, best of luck to you. Best wishes. I want to say
Thank,
luck, but best wishes to you on your journey. You
thank
know.
you. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
yeah, yeah. And I'm looking forward, to seeing you on the OCB. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, next year. Next year will be OCB.
yeah.
Next stop
Too
this
bad.
year is um the NPC, is it South, no, not South Jersey Championship. Um I forget what it is. It's November 2nd in Wayne, New Jersey.
Okay.
So,
That's the NPC.
yeah, NPC.
Okay. All right. Maybe I could check it out. I know they
Yeah.
had something in July, this past July with the amateurs.
Yes. Was it Universe? No.
Or was it
Universe?
so?
NPC Universe?
I probably would have to
Yeah.
check it. Like
One of the actually one of the girls that I met at my competition who won the overall and
right.
35 plus, she competed in that. And she was actually like, she was really cool. We made
Said
friends. And
universe.
yeah, the Universe. She
Yeah.
competed in that, and I was keeping an eye on that because I knew her, and actually a lot of pros that I follow on Instagram competed in
Yeah.
that. So that was kind of cool to watch them.
It was in T-neck, just like the
Yes.
New York Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Well,
two in November. November 2nd is in Wayne, and then the one on the 9th is in Teaneck. And that was the original one. My coach originally said, let's do that one, but it's not going to work out. I have something going on that week, so I wanted to do the earlier one so that I could not be in prep and have to worry about it the following week. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, well, I appreciate you giving me your time, you know.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we could
Yeah.
do it
I mean,
again.
this is
When
something
you,
I enjoy talking about, so I was happy to do it.
yeah, yeah, what he says this week will be the North Americans in Pittsburgh. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. Well, anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me your time. And yeah, well, we can talk in the future if you want.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Shout out to all the Race George page. Appreciate you for coming in comments. And that's it. Give a like. Check out Danette's Instagram page. Fit these nuts. You're not on YouTube?
No, not on YouTube, just Instagram.
Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. Maybe in the future you could make a YouTube channel on your fitness
Yeah,
journey.
yeah. I'm kind of new to all of this, so I'm just,
Right.
I
One step at a time.
started with the Instagram page. We'll take it from there.
Yeah. One step at a time.
Yep.
All right. I'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.